Good evening, Reds. Welcome to the pre-match build-up. It's Manchester United versus Spurs in the Europa League final. An absolute massive game ahead of us. And let's just get straight into the lineups. We've got Dan alongside me. Dan, are you nervous? Quick fire.
Yeah, very nervous.
Very, very nervous. Okay, let's see if you're more nervous or less going through this lineup together. So, starting in goal tonight, Dan, for us is Andre Onana. We'll get into him in a moment. We've got Yoro, Maguire and Shaw as the back three centre-backs. We've got Mazraoui as the right wing-back, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes in the midfield, so no Manuel Ugarte, despite starting the quarters and the semis. And then Dorgu as your left-sided wing-back, and then Ahmad, Højlund and Mason Mount as your front three. And that is the starting 11 today for Manchester United. And also on the subs bench, we've got Bayern, Amas, Evans, Lindelof, Heaven, Collier, Ugarte, Eriksson, Mainu, Garnacho, and Xerxes. And those last three names you would like to think is probably going to have an effect on this game one way or another. But is that team good enough, Dan, to win this final?
Yeah, I mean, team looks pretty solid. At least if you consider the attacking wise, it looks very solid. But then again, I'm not sure with the kind of the defending part, because you know that when Bruno and Mount are starting at the same time, that means you're playing towards the attacking side. You're leaning towards the attacking side. So that's where I want to see like our defenders to be on their toes for the full game. I mean, because we know that from the beginning of the game we are playing more attacking. You have now the kind of the likes of, you're also having the Luke Shaw in the back line, and with the Mazraoui playing on the right wing back role. So definitely you're going to create so many chances, and your players will be more attack minded. But yeah, on the same note, I would also want to see like how we are going to play in the midfield area, because you know that Bruno Fernandes is there, but then again you know that Bruno Fernandes likes to go up the pitch, and then that will leave Casemiro kind of an isolated position in the middle. So I'm not interesting to see how they are going to cope up with who will be supporting Casemiro in the midfield whenever Bruno goes up the pitch.
Yeah, you expected a lot of kind of fluidity and rotation, aren't you? In especially in our team, like depending on, it does seem rather attacking. I must admit, like I'm a fan of it, by the way. I like it. I like Ahmad and Mount. I thought the first, for whatever it's worth, the first kind of 20-25 minutes against Chelsea, the press was working and it was effective. But for some bizarre reason, we give a good half an hour or whatever, and then the team just completely drops off and just looks a completely different. So hopefully that doesn't happen today, because in the final you've got extra time and penalties on top of that as well. But anyone who's just joining, let us know your thoughts and feelings on the final, where you're watching it, where you are currently, if you are nervous or if you're more confident having seen that starting 11, and I'll get into your comments shortly. But we always try to go through the teams, Dan, from goalkeeper to the striker. So let's start with the goalkeeper first. If there is a day where you don't want a goalkeeper to make a mistake, it is today, innit?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that nervousness that brings in the team while defending, that somehow some portion of it falls towards Onana, because you have seen that the whole season, like how many mistakes he has done, and he looked kind of nervous himself at some point. And being a final, you cannot make those mistakes. There is no window to come back and from the mistake. And I've even heard, kind of people even quoting saying like, any mistakes will decide this game. So that's in itself is a kind of depressing to see. But yeah, Onana, he's kind of a player. Personally, he is kind of having a big mentality, but you know that he has been doing some mistakes here and there. But hope it doesn't repeats in this game, and his mentality is spot on in this game.
I felt like that comment about the mistake thing, I felt like that was bang on, you know. I really do believe that. I think because both teams have mistakes in them, especially at the back. And it'll be a tight, cagey game we're kind of expecting, you know, whether that's back and forth or not, I'm not sure. But one mistake, one, you know, bad pass, but like Maguire, for example, when he tried playing it to Yoro and then, you know, Bilbao scored. That's the one thing with this team. It is mistakes, and a lot of them. Shaw against Bournemouth and Dorgu against Bournemouth as well made a mistake. break. Casemiro seems to iron it out of his game a bit more recently. He's been in really good form in Europe, so not from him, but that back line, it does fill with errors sometimes, and that's the one thing I think we'll speak about a little bit later on. But Lenny Yoro from the start, are you surprised to see him? Obviously coming back from an injury, recovered quite well, but he's obviously ready for 90 minutes. Otherwise, he won't be starting. So, yeah, really good to have him, considering the kind of the pace in Tottenham's forward line.
Yeah, you know that, in Tottenham team, you can see that they have a lot of players who are kind of having good pace, especially the wingers. And I know that some of them are on the bench at this moment, but you know that at some point you need your centre backs to have that level of pace to cover up their wingers. So I think he's one of the defenders who has the high pace, especially when considering the centre back. So definitely, why not? And I feel, maybe Euro might be playing a bit ahead in the pitch, maybe supporting the midfielder like he used to be doing in the last few games. We have seen that he's more kind of taking the ball and going past the half line. So that thing, I think that same role he'll be expected to do today, because he has the pace to come back and track back. Join back with the defenders.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, happy to have him. I know that that potential is there. You know that the pace is there. You know that all the abilities are there. So then why not for a big final? You have to play him, even though whether to some extent, if he's available, then definitely you have to play him. You have to play your best players.
Yeah, it's true. He's been really good in Europe as well. Obviously got the goal against Lyon at the end of the first half. Got the assist for Mason Mount as well. If you think when he drove, so it's not really just defensively that we're talking about him. Offensively, he's quite an asset as well. And on the ball is something I think for progressing through the lines and having Euro and Shaw either side of Maguire is a bit better, because Shaw is good on the ball. He's not been great defensively recently, but passing, he's quite good technically.
Kind of distributing the ball, like spraying the ball towards whole of the pitch. So I think in that case, from Euro right hand side with the right foot and Shaw on the left side with the left foot, I think you can see crosses coming in, early crosses in this game especially.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. But yeah, let's get into the comments and see what people are saying. Please do smash like the video. Andy's saying this is the same team that played against Chelsea and didn't really do anything bar set up play, a bit worrying, but let's see. Andy, you're always positive, mate. Love to see that. Lumen, how much are we going to rely on Amorim's in-game management miracles today? I don't know, to be honest with you, because I look at that Tottenham team. I'm so surprised Son isn't starting. Like, this might be my final last words, but I'm not scared by that team, me. I'm not, and I know that sounds weird because we've been beating off him 3 times, but I'm just not. Like, they've got Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udoge, and they've got Bissouma, Bentancur, and Sarr in the middle, and they've got Johnson, Solanke, and Richarlison. Richarlison and Johnson are such flaky players. Solanke's a good striker; he's got a good record against us. The midfield, what I'm more worried about is the runners in there. Where's the creativity coming from that team? No Maddison, no Kulusevski, Son's on the bench. Like, where's the creativity coming from? Is Richarlison going to play one of those Ozil type passes? Like, I don't see it. So I think because of that, it will be very, very cagey and very close. And maybe they are relying on more long balls and set pieces, a different kind of Tottenham. But
kind of direct football, yeah.
Absolutely, I think
they're dependent on. I think they are dependent on direct football today, because you see that their midfielders are more of kind of traditional footballers who just yeah. So maybe it will make us ourselves difficult to score goals. But then again, at the same time, when you are conceding, when you are on the opposite side, I think it will be hard for them to create. Maybe they will be more focused on spraying crosses inside the box, because you know that Solanke is there and Richarlison sometimes he just clicks out, and I'm in all the attacking opposition. With Tottenham's attack, I'm more scared about the Johnson, because I know that he's not that much carrier, but at times his pace can hurt us very bad, and I'm really scared about that aspect of the attack from Tottenham. So I'm only concerned about Johnson on the left hand side while facing towards us. But then again, that midfield, I'm still at the same. I like to bring back the same point that with Casemiro in the midfield and Bruno and Mount, you know that Bruno and Mount again will be more invested in the attack, and Casemiro alone against Bentancur, Bissouma, and Sarr, I think that's going to be kind of a thing to see, like how Amorim has planned to tackle that thing. It's very interesting to see, because you know that all the 3 players of Tottenham in the midfield, they are more kind of like a cemented players in the midfield. They are like in the same line. and they don't. They don't much contribute in the attack, but they're again at the same time they are solid while defending.
Yeah.
So that's going to be kind of a. At some point maybe Garnacho will be, will be utilized to make some difference in the attack side with the pace.
Yeah, that's been like a reoccurring theme, hasn't it, with Spurs, despite whether when they beat us when we was with Ten Hag or when they beat us under Amorim, the midfield has always been a little bit of a struggle for us, and also the way Tottenham press from the front as well. I mean, they have got runners, so Richarlison, despite whatever people say about him, they are hard-working, so is Johnson, so is Solanke. So the press from the front, I'd imagine, they will try force those mistakes that we was alluding to before with Maguire, Shaw, because you'll get juice. Like, same thing with Onana, like he's shaking when you're pressing him. He's supposed to be a good goalkeeper on the ball. But how many times have we seen? I mean, Victoria Pleasant, Europa League, tries playing it to De Ligt, gets cut out. You know, Galatasaray last season, tries playing it out, gets cut out. So none of that shit today, please. I don't want to see any of those kind of mistakes. But on the midfield, Casemiro obviously has been pretty incredible, in fairness to him, and it would not surprise me at all if he scored or got an assist in this game, because that's just the way he's been playing in Europe at the minute. Bruno Fernandes Depot, did you expect him to start there, kind of heading into this game, or do you think he would be further up?
No, I was kind of 90-95% sure that maybe Casemiro and Ugarte will start in the midfield, with Bruno playing as a number 10 and maybe Ahmad or Garnacho.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I would, because in my mind I've kept Mount as a kind of a super sub role, with Mount and Xerxes as a super sub role. But starting is kind of a brave decision from Amorim, because you know that when this setup which we are going with the attacking wise, this is kind of it's like we are playing against a kind of a low level teams, and then again, I'm to be honest, I would have not started with this lineup in the midfield. I would have definitely gone with Ugarte and Casemiro in the midfield with Bruno, and use Mount in the maybe after 60 minutes if needed. But yeah, definitely a brave decision from Amorim. I hope it turns out well.
That's interesting, isn't it? I think what you get with Bruno in there, at least, is someone who will take the ball. They will play it through the lines. They'll try those over the top balls, switches of play, things like that. You will get from him. Whereas I think, for me, obviously Ugarte offers quite a lot off the ball, but on the ball, technically, he's not bad. He's okay, but his range isn't that much, and you don't really get much from him. He kind of keeps it simple quite a lot. Casemiro, we know, can play those kind of first-time balls in behind, but none of them are real kind of dictators of a game, if you know what I'm saying, whereas Bruno fits that mold a little bit more. So obviously he's looking for a bit of control in this game. He's looking for a bit of tempo, a little like more possession, hopefully. And I think that's going to be interesting. But the midfield battle, I think certainly in terms of numbers and how that dynamic's going to work, and if you've got centre-back stepping into midfield or maybe Mason Mount dropping in, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, sometimes games are won and lost, aren't they, Dan, in the midfield?
Yeah, definitely. It has been a problem for us for the past so many years that our midfield has not been that solid. But now we have kind of a players who can, who are who can be well stabilized that midfield. And now we have even Casemiro. He was kind of at one point he was kind of dipping down in his form, and it was like something like his towards the end of his career. Then again it just picked up under Amorim, and that's really great to see. But again, at the same time, we need to see like how Bruno's role plays out in this game, because if in this game especially, then Bruno has to play kind of a little deeper role than investing himself into the attacking wise, because you know that I don't expect Mount to come back, because I've hardly seen him track back and play the secondary midfielder role. But definitely Bruno will be more kind of a controlled, balanced way. He will not be overcommitting to the attacks, because then you see that Mazraoui is there. So I think the wing backs will play a bigger role in this, when Bruno can spray the passes towards the wing side. So I think Bruno, we might see him play more kind of a bit deeper role, maybe just a little bit ahead of Casemiro. So I think that's where I can see Bruno Fernandes playing out.
Yeah. More so what I'm worried about when I look at that team, for me, it weirdly enough, it isn't the centre-backs, it isn't the midfield, it's the wing-backs for me. And the striker is the obvious one, which you probably thought I was going to say. But we'll speak about Rasmus in a minute. But the wing-backs for me, as talented as Mazraoui is, and how much I really like him, I do think he's genuinely really, really good, and a steal for 15 million. He is not a profile of wing-back that you would really have in kind of an Amorim system. And Dorgu has only just come as well, so it's kind of like he's playing his first major final. His form's been a little bit sticky at the minute, like it's kind of been 50-50. So yeah, on those two, you almost feel like they have to have a really good game today in order for us to get something out of this, because the wing backs, there's so much emphasis on that position in Amorim's system.
Yeah, because you see that today now, not only with the attack side, they have to, kind of defend more, because you know that Tottenham's wing backs are kind of Udogie and Porro. They are more well capable of doing, anything in the game and can change the game. So in more than the attacking part, their defense will be, they have to be on their toes. But yeah, they have rough patches here and there. Dogu had rough patches here and there, and Mazraoui, as you have mentioned, he has been playing better as a centre back role. kind of the right centre back role than the wing back role. But I hope that Amorim has some plan for him to. I think he was playing. He's put in that side because just to accommodate Shaw in the centre back field. Because if you want to play Shaw, that's the only way you can put Shaw in, with pushing Mazraoui on the right wing back, and Dogu always you know that he's going to start there. So Dogu and Mazraoui, their gameplay, their play today will decide a lot of portion of this game, because you know that once even you know that their strongest weapon are still sitting on the bench, and once they come out and they'll be playing on the wings, and you know that with Dogu and Mazraoui, they have to be on their toes, not only with the attack wise but the defense wise when they face the kind of the pacey players. At this point, their starting lineup do not have that much pace in it, but with Son and I think Matthias Tell also is on the bench. So those two players, when they come up, then Dogu and Mazraoui have to be alarmed.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm really, really surprised Son isn't. It must be injury or something. It's have your captain not starting the game is crazy to me. So it must. I don't know if he's pulled something maybe in training, or it's a tactical thing from Ange. I'm not entirely sure, but there's a lot of people in the comments mentioning the wing backs and that kind of battle as well, and they're talking about watching Porro and Udogie. And if you watch the way Spurs play, they kind of them fullbacks, the way they're tackling it, they have these kind of rotations on either side where they will kind of invert into midfield. The players will get stretched out from the striker, and then there'll be a big gap for kind of the 10 to run into, which we saw. I think it was a similar pattern when Van der Ven, do you remember him running straight through Old Trafford when they beat us, and Maddison as well had kind of a bit of joy there as well. So that's a key battle for me that I would look out for. And Dorgu and Maz I trust more, his experience, he's played in big games for Bayern Munich, so I've got no problem with that. But it's Dorgu for me. Pedro Porro and Dorgu is the absolute key battle, and hopefully comes out on top. When we get into the front three, Ahmad, Højlund, Mount. Ahmad and Mount are massive in this game, aren't they? We talk about how much we've been struggling in attack, and the phases of play and the lack of creativity. Garnacho on the bench, Xerxes on the bench, so you've got different kind of options there as well. But is that enough, Ahmad and Mount? And we know obviously Rasmus has been struggling, so it's almost feeling like they've got to carry the burden today, aren't they? In a sense.
The front three do not give me that much confidence, which I expected. I know that even though Garnacho has got a lot of sticks, in the previous games with the decision making he does, but then he creates some chances. At least whenever he's on the pitch, he creates something out of nothing. That portion maybe we'll need in the second half. But with Mount, I know that he has not been in a regular player. Playing player for us. But in recent games, he has been. He has shown us that he's been improving, and he's kind of having more. Chemistry build up between him and the players. So I think that area is kind of a positive for us. And with Bruno at the back, I think Mount will be feeling more free to gel with the attackers. But then again, you know that when Ahmad is there, definitely he is going to create chances. He's definitely going to reach towards the corner area, and he is going to throw some crosses inside. Play some crosses inside. Then definitely you need players like Højlund. He has to. At least this is the game for him to at least show that he is worth 70-80 million of that price tag. He has to definitely show today that why we bought him. So this is the game for him, because even this game can decide his future as well. Because already we are looking out for the strikers. So I mean, then a lot of crosses are expected only from the right hand side with Ahmad. I think then, but again, I mean, if I would have started the lineup, I would have not gone with this setup of these three players and the attacking, because that's not filling me with that confidence which I would have required. But then again, you have to depend on them. With the only positive, I mean, you know that with Ahmad, I mean, Ahmad always starts in. I'm not talking about the Ahmad when I'm talking about the confidence part. I'm more concerned about the Hoyland thing, because the whole year we haven't seen that. I mean, the thing coming out from him, the ability and the potential thing. And but with Mount, you know that, I mean, he is being improving day by day, and I mean gelling in with this particular formation. So I mean, I would have definitely preferred Mount to come on in the after 60 minutes or something to play as a super sub role. But yeah, it's going to be. I'm not filled with that much confidence with the attack, but let's hope for something to happen. But yeah, we have the enough firepower in the bench to consider if we are not getting something out of this. I mean, front three.
That's the main difference for me today. I think Tottenham have a striker who has proven that he can score goals and can be a threat in Sri Lanka, and we have one who is just you got to call it as it is, like struggling, like really, really struggling. Yeah. And in fairness to him, if you want to offer a bit of balance and perspective to it, he is young, he is raw, and he should be learning off another striker. He shouldn't having to start big games like this. You know, back in the day, we had a selection pool to pick from, whether it was Bruno, Tevez, Berbatov, you know, go throughout the history. There was players to pick from, all, you know, arguably a lot of them world-class players. Now, we've got one young player who really, it should be at a team probably mid-table in Italy or something, but given the way he's playing. And I know there is talent there, but when you watch that Chelsea cameo, for me, that was one of the worst striker cameos I think I've ever seen. I think he lost possession more times than he actually passed it. So, despite how well we play today, even if we are right up for it, if he's missing those clinical chances, which he has done 1,000 times before, goals win your games ultimately. You could play as well as you want, but if he's not got his shooting boots on, we're done. We're absolutely done out here. So that's why I'm saying there's such a heavy reliance and importance on Mount and Ahmad. Obviously, Mount scoring in the semi-final, got a brace. Ahmad scored or got an assist as well, I think, as well. So they've got that in them to do it. And obviously, Mount's got an assist in a Champions League final before as well. Yeah. So that is something I would keep an eye on. But the one thing I want to say to you as well is experience in United's team in comparison to Tottenham, night and day, right? Onana, Champions League finals. Maguire has played in him for England. So has Luke Shaw. Majrari's done it for Bayern Munich. Casemiro's done it for Madrid. God knows how many times. Bruno Fernandes, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. I think it's Dorgu and Højlund really are the only players who have it. I mean, even Ahmad's been involved in kind of Sunderland promotion game. What they call you know what I'm on about, don't you? When the playoffs. But yeah, do you think that'll play a part? Because obviously Tottenham, you look at their team, you've got Romero, who's with Argentina, obviously won a World Cup, and then you've got, I mean, Son's played a Champions League final, but apart from that, you're scratching the surface really, aren't you, to get experience in these big games?
I mean, yeah, definitely experience plays a big part in this, and especially when you know that, I mean, we have the kind of a proof with us when we played and came back from 4-2 down and won the game 5-4. So that shows that itself, because of that, this experience only, we were able to, I mean, kind of replicate, I mean, the mentality as well as the strength and the experience of the, I mean, experienced players into the game when we were down 4-2 in that game. So, I mean, definitely that experience plays well, because in these kind of finals, I mean, even the big players can feel nervous, but you know that when these players, most of our players are well experienced and they have already had the exposure of these kind of environment, then definitely they will be feeling more comfortable as compared to Tottenham players. So I mean, Casemiro, you know that he's kind of a grandfather of the experience. I mean, he has a lot of experience with Madrid, playing on so many Champions League games and kind of big cups, won so many trophies. So I think that in itself will show, I mean, the character in these kind of final games. I mean, we can talk about it. We can talk many things about it, but at the same time, we cannot compare the form of the Premier League with this particular game, because this is totally different thing. And this is, I mean, kind of the focus is totally on this game, and you cannot compare and take the comparison from the old games, but then this is something different. And you know that this has to be taken one game at a time. At this point, the all focus on this, and we know that the experience of the players from United are there, and Tottenham are kind of. I mean, then again, that character will show up in this game, and we have that character in our team.
Yeah, 100%. Right, let's talk about the actual game then. Going into this, well, not going into this, we're going to kick off in probably around 40 minutes time or something. But how are you expecting this game to play out from the start? Do you think? Are you expecting a cagey, fast start, very open? Yeah, what do you envision?
I mean, it's. I mean, if you see the lineups, I'm still unable to. I mean, take it out as a kind of a game that is going towards the draw thing. But I mean, for the 90 minutes. But because both the teams' setup are totally different, where United has gone with the kind of attacking kind of a setup, and where the Tottenham is kind of they are more focused on the defensive part, and where United are more focused on, I mean, attacking through the wings, and where Tottenham is kind of more dependent on the crosses with the header goals to focus on. So I think this game is going to be, I mean, to and fro, in my opinion, because especially United will definitely have chances created. So when United starts creating chances, you will definitely see the Tottenham midfield to little open up, because you know that the midfield of them are not that much experienced in playing from the, I mean, more on the attacker side. So definitely they will be tend to come ahead up in the pitch, and that will definitely create some gaps in the midfield. So I think at maybe within 5-10 minutes you can see that the game will be more open. United are kind of from the very front itself, they are playing kind of an attacking game. Will play attacking game, but Tottenham, I think they are playing. I mean, the setup looks like more conservative, but they definitely have to open up if they have to create some chances. So I think that game could be like a to and fro in after 5-10 minutes.
I have to admit, I think this game is going to go down as like a classic. I think that it really is going to be back and forth, because both teams have the fragilities, both teams have the strengths, and both teams have, when you think about it, have really, really kind of got to go for it in a sense, because the future of both clubs, I mean, it is quite literally do or die when you talk about both of these teams in it. The way the seasons have gone in the Premier League, let's be like, you know, real. It's just the way it is. Like, it could completely change the trajectory of Ruben Amorim's tenure in charge at United in terms of what players he can recruit. Champions League revenue is massive for any club, and just that positivity of having that, because you saw what happened when Ole got to Verdansk in the final. When he lost that after the game, I know he was at United a lot longer, but it just didn't seem to be that kind of belief that he could do something. So trophies can change perspective and can give people a lot of confidence, and just the feeling around the club, because you can go from they've just won a major European trophy to they just finished 17th in the league. They just finished 16th in the league. So you can't really underestimate how massive this is, can it?
I was just seeing the stats. I mean, the results from them. I mean, I know that every game I'm just keep forgetting because of this Europa League final. Because of that, I've just waved off all the losses that we had. But I was just checking, like, in the last win was before even 8 games. I mean, you just consider, like, if this would have not been. I mean, we would have not been in the Europa League final. Then definitely, I mean, Amorim, I'm not sure whether he would have stayed till this point in this club. But yeah, again, I mean, it's like all or nothing. So one win can take you to the heights, to the sky, and one loss, and then next year it's like you have everything, and then suddenly it will be nothing. So I mean, next if you lose, then again next season nothing will be there, no midweek games, and I mean it will be blank. I mean that's why all the losses of the previous games had just been piled up and kept in some cache memory of mine. And if we win, that will be thrown out. But if we lose, then definitely it's going to kick me out. But all positive. Yeah.
You think about the media storm around it as well, Dan. Like, if United was to lose this, and if Tottenham was to win their first trophy for God knows how long, and it was because of us as well, not only the fact of, like, the players' belief and just the media and the attention around the world it'll get, it really will feel like a nail in the coffin for the club at United. I'm not even being, like, dramatic saying that. I'm genuinely, because of how bad this season has been. to get beat in a final off Tottenham and finish 16th in the Premier League. If you would have said that to a United fan at the start of the season, they'd be like, shut the fuck up, you're lying. But this is where we're at in a minute. So, winning can change a lot of things. But I think we also need to be careful as well. And I'll get to the comments in a moment. Apologies for the ones that I've missed. But I think it's important to remember as well, we did win a final under Erik ten Hag. And we had that belief after we won, and then you saw the shit show that kind of happened there. So trophies doesn't necessarily mean that your future is going to be absolutely confirmed and you're going to be challenging for Premier Leagues. And it doesn't work like that. But it's a nice stepping stone, innit, for the future.
Yeah, definitely. And this, I mean, everything is dependent on this trophy because you know that the summer is also coming in, and I mean, all the players whom we have been already, I have started the discussion. They will be keeping themselves on hold just to see like what is the outcome of this game, and they will proceed with the transfer thing. So transfer also is dependent on this result. And apart from that, the future. I mean, it's like all the players also will be trying to maybe go out if this something doesn't happen there, and suddenly the next season all the focus will be to everything will look like a very hard thing to do in the next season because you are in the 17th position and then you are to aim for the top 4. So if you get this chance and get into Champions League, that will become a ladder for you to perform well in the next season, and just give so how much motivation it will give you if you win this trophy. And that will set up a foundation for the next season, and all sins will be washed away if we if we win this trophy for all the the managers, the players, whatever the mistakes they have done. But yeah, everything is dependent on this one. But yeah, I can't even imagine losing this. I can't even imagine.
We're not thinking that way. Yeah. James in the chat saying good evening to you, sir. Andy Williams saying their midfield worries me. It's full of physical runners. United's worst nightmare this season. Ray saying this season's drained us emotionally and mentally. One game to right all the wrongs. Never been more nervous, but man for man, we win. Glory, glory, Man United. We've got an absolute elite bench compared to Spurs. In-game management from Ruben, which won Leon game for us, could win it tonight. Dorgu has to be on it and stop Porro crossing. I wonder if Mount is going to drop and Ahmad moves a bit higher. Well, Ruben Amorim actually just said something on that, funnily enough, about Mason Mount. He said, choosing him starting lineup, he said, I feel Mason Mount in this moment gives us a different balance because he's really good attacking, but also the way he compacts the team. He is one extra midfielder, and Tottenham put all the full-backs and midfielders inside as well. So there's a bit of the thought process with Amorim going into that. James saying Dorgu needs to be watching Porro. Porro is Spurs' creative outlet today. Has your confidence changed any since the lineup came out? Mine has. Me personally, I don't know if Dan disagrees on it. I more confident seeing that lineup, but you're not, right? Is that what you said? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not that much confident because I was feeling. I would have felt confident with Ogate and Casemiro both sitting in the midfield because that's the main point for me. Just to focus point for me because midfield decides the game. So this has been the case for United for last so many years that we didn't have the midfield. But yeah, again, if at the same time, if Bruno is there more concentrated and more kind of a controlled manner, then definitely this kind of act as a more positive in the game. And that the Bruno has all the energy to run around so many. God knows how many kilometers he can run around, and with that discipline is there with Bruno Fernandes to play in the midfield, then definitely it's going to be a big plus for us because that the creativity will be there. And Mount, that in itself will put an intelligent player into your starting lineup with Mount coming into the team. So positive side is there attacking wise, but then again the confidence of me which is being hindered is only because of how we will be defending this game with Bruno Fernandes in the midfield. So that's where my focus will be today, to see how Bruno Fernandes is set up in the midfield.
Yeah, I get that.
I know he has the experience. He has been played that. Amorim has played him a lot of time, and he has been great in that place. But again, in the final, against Tottenham, who can be like they are very unpredictable. So in such type of an environment with this lineup, that brings me to that lean me towards the confidence level being little low.
Which team / manager needs it more?
United.
It's close though, isn't it? Like you think, because we've had trophies, right? We're weirdly enough, despite whatever position we're in, we always seem to get to finals. I mean, we've had 4 or 5 finals in the past 5 years, I think it is, which is just crazy when you think about how bad that we've been. But Tottenham, for them, the last time they won a European Cup was against Anderlecht in, I think it was 41 years ago. In the 80s, I think they won it, which is a long, long time ago. So they never know when they're going to be in a situation like this again. Do you know what I mean? And saying that, but I think with the manager, I think regardless, I don't know if you feel the same. I think either way, Ange's gone for Spurs.
Yeah, I think they have been already looking very 16th, and 16th position for them is not good enough for them itself. Even though for us we have already accepted that it's not good enough, but for Tottenham itself, it's not good enough for them. And they had a so much better team. If compared to the last years of their records, you can see the players they have brought in. They are kind of a very very effective players. If you see that the likes of Basuma, Bentancur, these kind of players that have come in, definitely the expectation would have been for them to at least linger around somewhere in the top 4. And then when they are in this push, they started really well in the season, but then suddenly, they just followed us back in the table. So I think definitely with the team they have, they should be achieving a lot more. The same applies for United as well. But again, if you're talking about Tottenham alone, then again, it's the manager, the implementation of the manager's ideas into the team, which has so many potential players and so many, star players. That's not working out. So I think they're already looking out for the change of the manager. But definitely, any day, United without the Champions League is not good enough. So I think the United need more than that.
No, I have liked bits I've seen from Ange though in the way he's set up at times. And I think, like you said, you alluded to the start of the season before, and the way they was playing, their attacking play was like breathtaking at times. The way they was, like wiping away teams almost, and I think the metrics in the final third as well, they was like first in almost everything in what they was doing. So obviously they are kind of like, and you'll get this reference as well, they do play like an ultra attacking team, don't they? On FIFA when you go, well, you used to be able to do it. I don't know if you can still do that anymore, but they do actually play like that and really leave a lot of space for teams to exploit. But the wing backs as well, that's the wing backs, the way they rotate, the way they press. On the ball, Udogie and Porro going forward offensively are really, really good. And not only just that, their combination as a team, when you talk about like speed and physicality, second balls with Basuma, Sarr, Bentancur, they are dogs in the midfield. So that's what I'm more worried about. I'm not worried about like maybe quality on the ball at times, because there's no Maddison, Kulusevski. They're the ones who do that for him. It is second balls, physical battles, aerial duels, flick-ons, that kind of stuff. I can see. I can see us really struggling with that today.
Yeah, I think that would have been the plan for Ange as well, because that he might have been doing his homework against United, and he could have sensed that United are more prone to make mistakes in the back line, and that's why he's put all these players to just make put more pressure on the defenders whenever we have the ball, and just try to bring out some mistakes out of the defense and capitalize on those mistakes. So because you can see that setup of Tottenham looks like it's like a wall in the midfield, and it's like they're already closing the attack of United. So the only focus for them, I think, and that's where he has started all these players in the attacking as well as the midfield, is to make our defenders nervous and do some mistake, and they can capitalize. And if that thing is not working out, then in the second half they can bring on the likes of Son and Tel to make the difference. So that's where Ange's idea would have been this, if I see the lineup in that sense, because that United are more prone to make mistakes. And I hope that the only thing that I don't want to see in this today's game is like Onana taking a lot of time to just take the ball and just see where to pass. I just want the pressure. Just receive the ball, just pass it, but don't wait for any other players to just come in. And because that it's not like normal local football you are playing, like you can just wait for a player to come back and then your defenders will be free. But now in the modern football, what happens is when your goalkeeper is being, I mean, the opposition goalkeeper is being pressed, then automatically the other outfield players just, press the free players. So that it just loses all the options for you to make a pass. So just receive the ball, just pass it. Then don't win. And Onana has been doing it for a long, long time. I mean, and so many times. So I hope that he is more quicker in taking decisions and quickly passes the ball. Just don't let the opponent attackers just to think and make. Yeah, I mean, don't make it difficult for yourself, and for even all the even for your defender, it's made it difficult for them also to receive the ball and play because normally the defenders are not that much great in controlling the ball, and when you are making that situation more problematic and more, I mean, kind of a compressed, your defenders also are prone to make mistakes very easily. So that's what Onana is doing in these days. And I hope that the passes are more quicker in the back line just to avoid those type of mistakes.
I think it's interesting you mentioned the pressing from the front there, because I watched a video tactical analysis from H, who's worked for the Overlap, and he did a preview on this game, and he was talking about the last game that Tottenham played against Crystal Palace, the way Crystal Palace set from the front, pressing them and forcing them into areas where they didn't want to be. So they had like Mateta sitting on the midfielders rather than the centre-backs, and it was kind of a structured, organised plan, and they forced errors from it and got goals from it as well. So I don't know if that's something maybe Ruben Amorim's looking at, but I think us, when we look at our build-up, it's just... It forces nerves, doesn't it? It's just it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, you can see that. I mean, even Richarlison, though I'm not sure whether how much attacking wise we are more. We are concerned about him, but he definitely is a player who just, keeps on running towards the defenders, and he's kind of, who works hard while off the ball. So, and already your midfielders are there, and it's very difficult to, make passes and come out of that midfield line of Tottenham. So that's where I'm even concerned about that. And when you know that your three players midfielders, Tottenham's three players are already in a position to block all the passes, and then if their three attackers cover any couple of defenders, then definitely it's going to open up some moment of United making mistakes. So that's where it's going to be very interesting to see how United play from the back today, because it's going to be like very nervous in the defense area, and I'm not sure how they are going to come out of those situations. Maybe that might be one of the reasons why they are playing Bruno on the midfield, just to receive the ball and do something out of it, and bring the ball out of that back line and pass it to to become a bridge between the defenders and the attackers.
I'm getting more and more nervous the more as it gets closer to kickoff. There's some quotes coming in from Ruben Amorim. He's saying, "I'm relaxed now. I think I did my job, if you can say that. Now it's with the players. I'm really confident. I really enjoyed the last two trainings. And when you have these kind of trainings, you feel relaxed because I trust in the guys." He got asked about how important it is for the summer's recruitment. He said, I think it's not going to. It can change, but it's not going to change so much. It could be a little help to add one more if we need, but it's not going to change so much. I think the most important thing is the feeling of winning, going to help everybody. If you look at Carrington with all the changes, we had people in the staff that started with us, and now it's not. They are not there in our stadium. People that work in Old Trafford, we need to deliver that feeling in order to give strength to everybody to change. And then the last thing was like, I'm not thinking about money for the summer. We'll arrange the money because we're a big brand. I'm always talking about the same thing. It's the feeling. We are a club that needs that feeling. We have the connection with the people. Without trophies, it's really hard to get that connection. And I think, to be fair, I think that's probably spot on from the manager. He's kind of rhetoric, or whatever you want to call it, is spot on there. So the ultimate kind of betting slip, or whatever you want to call it. So the predictions for this game, Dan. Let's get into, and same thing for everyone else in the chat as well. James, Ander, Tiger, Rayanator, all you guys who are watching, smash that like video for us as well. 4 things that is going to happen in this game in your mind. Go for it, Dan.
With the midfield setup, I will definitely see Casemiro making so many tackles and getting a yellow card. That's one thing to happen. And Ahmad getting an assist and a goal.
I've got that as well.
An assist or a goal. Assist or a goal. And Bruno also with an assist. And one more thing, one header goal is there, definitely. Maybe we are considering a header goal.
What score?
It's very hard.
Be honest. Be honest.
Yeah, Yeah, I'll go with 2-1 United because I know the goals are coming in this game. I mean, from both the ends. So I'll go with 2-1, maybe 1-1 till the 90. And with the setup, I feel like there's going to be lot of goals. But then I would just want to restrict myself to 2-1,
Okay.
just to be more realistic.
I have gone Man United to win 3-2. I've gone Ahmad to score, Casemiro yellow, and a red card for Spurs. I think Richarlison or Romero, I think they get a red card, and that's why we win it. I think it's quite a tight game. I think there's a bit of a mad decision because you've seen like Leon game sent off, red card. We've seen Bilbao, Vivian centre back sent off, red card. Like loads of situations. Sociedad, didn't someone get sent off Sociedad for pulling? I swear someone got sent off at the Old Trafford leg. Yeah, they did for pulling Dorgu down. Do you remember? Dorgu went down towards the end of the game.
Yeah, in the first leg.
And there was in the second leg at Old Trafford.
Second leg, I don't think there was a red card.
I'm sure
in the first leg there was definitely one. Was.
Right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I think is going to be a red card for Spurs in this game. Romero or Richarlison. Remember me saying this, right? Because it's going to come to fruition. One thing I can certainly say that I don't fucking want to happen is penalties. Please, for the love of God, if it goes extra time, deal with it in extra time. I don't want to go out on a penalty shootout, like, because I don't really have that much faith in them. But you've got experience, so it's kind of like you've got to do it in the 90 minutes for the sake of my blood pressure and everyone else's nerves around the world who are watching it. For the love of God, please. So, yeah. Get your predictions in the comments. Kevin McVelly saying 1-0. Tiger saying, I ain't sure about the pace at the back apart from Euro if they hit us on a counter. Let's fucking go, lads. Whiskey's out. Appreciate you guys joining us. Obviously, everyone's got giant plans. I had giant plans myself, but exterior things kind of stopped that. So I appreciate, everyone's got plans and they're watching build up and stuff. So to join us, it's really nice of you and it's nice to see us. Same thing with Dan as well. I'm sure we're both going to go watch the game now. It'll be a giant bag of nerves. And me and Sam will definitely be on the post-match to discuss, hopefully, us winning a European, because if it's a post-match where we've got to talk about being beat by Spurs, it's going to be grueling and no one's going to want to watch that. So, yeah, fingers crossed we get the job done. Any final leaving words, Dan?
Oh. Let's play Champions League next season.
Yeah, I agree. Good luck, everyone who's watching. I hope your blood pressure's fine. Let's go get the job done, and I'll speak to you after.